Hi, welcome to this mini course. My name is Joyce Day, founder of Fun Oil Stuff. I'm excited to help you get organized, make a plan, and get into action. So step one of this process is to download your team into a spreadsheet. Okay, so you're going to go to your doTERRA account, log in, and we're gonna download your personal enrollments only. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so here we are in your detailed genealogy in your back office. And the first thing you're going to want to do is all we want to do is grab our personal downloads. So what I want you to do is go ahead and go to your organization. Now, if you are a small team, if you have a small team, I want you to just keep your focus ID on yourself, and you'll just work with your personal enrollments, and it'll be really quick and easy. If you have a larger team that you're working to get organized, then I want you to download, and you're going to be working on some of those legs individually and reconnecting with them. Maybe you have teams that were busy or had been built up before, but their leaders have stepped away, and you want to kind of come in and try to support those teams. Then you're going to want to do this one leg at a time. So for those people, instead of the focus ID being you're going to make the focus ID be the name of the person at the head of that leg. So it might be your frontline people. It might be a qualifier. So if you have a larger team that's maybe on your second or third level down, it's a qualifying leg for you. Then you're going to put their ID number in because that's who you're primarily going to be focused on. Okay. So small teams, keep this ID number to you. Big teams, go leg by leg, make a list of the teams, insert their focus ID number. Again, if you have a bigger team, you might need to change the levels from 10 up to 15 or 20 to make sure you get everybody on that leg. Okay, so once you've done that part, then you're going to go to columns, and I want you to go ahead and just click all. That'll add all the columns that doTERRA offers to you. And then just shut off the July, June, whatever the 3 months were of data that they give you, shut those off. You don't need those. If there's any other data points in here you feel like you don't need, feel free to shut those off. But I do keep all this other information because it is helpful. Okay, and then you're going to click Update Report. If you have a larger team, you're going to be doing this for each of the legs. So you'll put in a focus ID number of one of your leaders. You'll run this report, update the columns, and then we'll move on to the next one. So what we're going to do now, we've updated our report, is the next step is to click on Enroller ID in the headers. So this will sort the whole table to just the smallest. You might need to click it twice. It should bring your ID number up to the top of the list because you're the youngest, lowest number on your team. You should be. And so now it's updated. And now I see all of my personal enrollments are at the top except for my upline is right there, or myself, I'm sorry. And I had one person placed under me by my upline. So now I'm going to hover to the left of where my ID number starts, which is right here on this third row. Hover to the left, hold down my left mouse button, so drag my mouse across the page and all the way down until I see my ID number stop to where they're not my personal enrollments anymore. So I'm just going to pick a random spot because these are all my personal enrollments on this first page. Okay, so once you get to where your ID number stops, anybody below that is no longer your personal enrollment. You're going to stop there. You're going to hover your mouse over any of the blue highlighted areas, right click, and hit copy. Okay. And then you're going to go to your spreadsheet that you created for yourself on your drive. I recommend doing this on your drive, not on your on like a personal computer, because then you can access it from anywhere. I mean, if you don't ever use Google Drive, you don't even know what I'm talking about. I guess you could use it on your home computer, but I would recommend getting comfortable with Google Drive because as you move forward in the future, you might get into software like Streak where using a Google Drive is necessary. And the more comfortable you get with it now, the easier that will be later. And also, you can access this from anywhere. So if something happens to your computer, you don't have to worry about losing it, which would be awful. Okay. So you've highlighted all your personal enrollments. You're going to go to your spreadsheet and we're going to paste those in. So let's see what that looks like. Okay. So you just pasted all your information into your spreadsheet. The first thing you might want to do is, it may look a little messy when you make sure you do the paste special, paste values only. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of links in here. So if you pasted it and you just did paste, you're going to see all these purple links. Your best bet is to just undo it and then go back and click that top cell, right click instead of hitting just paste, hit paste special, and then a little menu will pop up and say values. And if you do that, it'll only paste the data. It won't have all the links and the extra junk in it that you don't want. Okay. Okay. So once they're in here, you might want to adjust the formatting. If it's some of the print might be small or things like that, you can always highlight the whole table by clicking this upper left corner, and that'll highlight the whole spreadsheet. You can change the font and make it bigger. You could highlight the top row and change the color. You can do whatever formatting you need to make it look nice and neat and organized. You can center things left or right or whatever, whatever you need to do. Okay, so get it so that you can read it. It feels comfortable. If you need to, well, we'll just leave it there. Okay, now what we're going to do is make sure that your headers are all accurate. Sometimes in the pasting process, your headers can move left or right just every once in a while, depending on the column that you have in there. So just make sure, yeah, this is the sponsor column, this is the sponsor, this is the enroller ID, that's the enroller ID. Just make sure everything lines up perfectly so that you don't have any confusion later on. Okay, once you've done those things, you feel confident, you've pasted it in. If you're doing multiple legs, if you're just doing a small team and it's your personal enrollments and you're not worried about legs right now, then you can fast forward to the section where we go to the right of the table and talk about what extra columns you want to track for each customer. But you might want to watch this next part because you're going to have legs in the future, and this will be helpful for you. So your next step is we want to, and if you have a larger team and you're pasting in legs, you're going to want to do this part first. So what you're going to do is I've got these, I want you to insert 3 extra columns on the left side of the table. So if you have a big team, you're not done pasting stuff in yet, okay? If you have just your own personal enrollments and no legs, then you might have pasted in this data and you're all good. If you have multiple legs and you're bringing in 1 leg at a time, which I highly recommend, the first column that we're going to add over here on the left is I call it the leg column. All right. And this is just going to, as you paste in a team, you're going to put in the team. So as you paste, so this is, you paste it in, let's say, this is, well, I've already sorted these multiple, but if it was all Team Lucy, for example, and that's your first leg. So you're going to paste in right here. You're going to paste it in. That's Team Lucy's, all your personal enrollments on Lucy's team. And then over here, this will be, you'll have inserted these 3 columns. You're going to put Team Lucy and then copy paste it down next to all those people. Okay. And then why don't I organize my table so you can see what that looks like. So I'm just going to do a sort range. The data has a header row and do it by leg. Okay. So now, okay, I did Team Bob first, all right? So I pasted in everybody, all my personal enrollments on Bob's team, and I typed in Team Bob, and I'm gonna copy paste that down until those people are all done, okay? So those are all people on Bob's team, okay? And now, if you have multiple legs you're doing, go to the next leg. This is Denise's leg. So I put in Denise as the focus ID, update the report, copy and paste just my personal enrollments that are on Denise's team. And then I'm going to come over here and click on this cell. I don't want to put it over here and cover up this stuff because I'm going to put stuff here. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to paste, right click, paste, special, values only. Okay. And then that data is going to flow in. All right. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on, I'm going to type Team Denise. I'm going to copy and paste Team Denise all the way down until I get to the last people, my personal enrollments on Denise's team. Same thing again. Okay, this is Jose. Jose is as a leg on my team. Not really. This is all fake data. But anyway, so I'm going to update the focus ID in my back office, change it to Jose, update the report, copy and paste. I adjust my personal enrollments. You might remember to sort the the data in the doTERRA table, click on enroller ID each time after you put in the focus ID of the new person, the new leg, update the report, click on the header for enroller ID. That brings all your personal enrollments to the top of the list. You're going to copy just your personal enrollments, people, paste it in here, and then put Team Jose next to, or whoever your leg leader is, team whoever, there. Okay. You get the idea. So do that as many times as you need to. If you have leaders who are running their own, well, that's not true. You'll do this for all the legs that you have personal enrollments on that you want to, that, well, all of them. Any leg that has personal enrollments, you're going to want to do this process. Okay. And then once you get done with that process, these two columns are still going to be blank at this point. Your teams will be filled in. You'll have all your people in here now. Congratulations, in one place. And now the next step is we want to be able to organize them by the month that they enrolled. That's what's going to make your follow-up process super simple and super easy. And it's just every month, it's like a touchstone. You come back here, you can look at your who you've enrolled in the past this month, and your long-term customer support activities for this month is focused on those people. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, there's other softwares that make it much easier. So if you're starting with a spreadsheet, that's fine. If you have a bigger team and you want to organize this in an easier way, check out my streak course on funoilstuff.com. It's a one-time cost for the streak. I give you the pipeline. I give you the, it's like a spreadsheet, but it lives in your Gmail account. And it's really awesome. It has everything you need. It's super organized, and you can easily, everybody's already sorted by stage, by month. I wonder if I can, let me bring up that for you so you can see what it looks like just quickly. I just want you to know that it's out there, and then when you're ready, you can go to that option if you want to. Okay, so this is my, it's a demo streak pipeline. And so what you can see here is there's all these different stages. This lives inside my Gmail account. This is just an extra Gmail that I don't use. So I put in here, you can name it whatever you want. This is my doTERRA. It's a fake streak pipeline. And it's just like the spreadsheet, except it's all, you don't have to keep sorting and doing all that stuff. It's kind of done for you. So what it does is you import that data when you paste it into the spreadsheet. Instead of creating those columns and doing all that stuff, you just create the spreadsheet and then import it directly in here. And then there's some really great functionality here. So if you're new to this, or if you have a small team, or if you're, it's a free program. So once you have it set up, it's free. It lives in your Gmail, but my course does cost a little bit to get it set up, because I'm giving you the pipeline. I'm giving you all the stuff. It saves you literally hours and hours and hours and hours of work and frustration and all that stuff. So I walk you through exactly how to get your data ready, import your data, drop it into the organization, and then also give you guidance on other things you can do with Streak that makes it super easy. So anyway, so all my people are in here. So when I come in and whatever month it is, I can come here. Again, this is all fake data, you guys, to protect the privacy of my customers. But you can come in here and look and see, okay, these are all the people I need to follow up with in the month of June. And you can start to build a history on them. You've got their contact information. You've got their, what leg they're on, what team they're on. You can, this is so cool, you guys, you can do a quick search and drop and see all the people who are on Sue's team or whoever. There's a lot of other information you can track, whether or not they're on LRP. I have quizzes that I use that I send to my customers when they fill them out. They auto-populate into Streak so that I can keep a history on my customers. What are their health issues? What's going on with them? It's a really powerful tool, totally customizable. I can keep track of samples, things I've sent them, all the stuff. There's so much stuff here. So this is, again, a fake data account here. So I don't, it's not as filled out as it is in my own personal one. But I keep track of what their initial orders were. If I've sent them anything, when's the last time I talked to them? That's the last touch point. Did I mail them anything? Postcards, diffuser recipes, an AZ guide, some roller labels, anything like that. I keep track of those things. and it just makes my life really easy. And then you can actually start to build a history on your customers here. When you click on a customer, it brings up this kind of back section where you can track all this information in one place. It's the same information from the spreadsheet, but it's just nice. It's in one place. I keep track of their health issues. Any emails I've ever sent them, it builds a history. I can take notes every time I talk to them. I come in here and take notes on what we talked about. And so I can say, okay, called for Oil's birthday, offered Oil's refresher quiz. You know, and then what's cool about it is I can post that. Now I've got a history, and then I can also create a task for 3 days from now. Oh, sorry. Check in on Oil's refresher quiz, and then put a time on it that I want to do. I want to check on her in 3 days and see if she's responded back. I just need to make sure I remember, hey, I got to check and see if she filled out her Oils quiz. And then I can set a due date. What's really cool about this, and then I promise I'll stop talking about it, is it's then linked to your Google Calendar. So then every time you set a reminder, if on that day on your Google Calendar, it'll pop up on your phone or on your computer and say, hey, check in on the Oils refresher quiz for Carrie Wheeland, right? Pretty cool, pretty easy stuff. And then it tracks that stuff. And then I can come back in here when I'm done with it, check it off. If I look and see tomorrow, oh yeah, she filled out Oil's refresher quiz, then I could say, okay, great, I'm done with that. You can click on the individual things and see that's a task that I did. These are comments that I've made, files that I've sent her, I can keep track of that, emails that I've sent her, or all. It's really great. Love Streak. It's a really, really powerful tool. So everybody doesn't need it right out of the gate. If you're a brand new builder, I mean, it's nice if you can, you know, if you want to really invest in your business and get it up and running right from the start, it's great. And if you want to hold off and just use the spreadsheet for a while, if tech overwhelms you, which I have leaders who are like that, tech is not their favorite thing, then it can be easier to just work with a spreadsheet. That's fine too. But I wanted you to see this because this next few things we have to do is kind of a pain in the butt. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, I have to live with this. There are tools out there like Streak. And again, Streak is a free program until you get over 500 people in there. And then that, but I just have my personal enrollments in there. And then there's a paid for version that as your team gets bigger and bigger, you can do the paid for version, and it lets you add more people and do other things with it at that point too. So if you have Streak and you're looking to see what else you can do with more advanced skills, reach out to me. I'm happy to share some of the things you can do with the paid for version, but most of you won't need that for a long time. Okay, so let's go back to our spreadsheet here. Okay, so we've pasted in leg by leg if you have legs, or pasted in our personal enrollments if it's just your small list of enrollments if you're new. And so we've got this leg filled out. Now I've told you to put in these 2 extra columns. One is going to be month number and one is going to be month enrolled. Okay. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to go to the date that they enrolled. Now you're going to highlight the whole table. You're going to go to data. You're going to do sort range. And all you're doing is sorting the table. Okay. So you'd have to highlight the whole table to do these sorts. If you just highlight one column, it's going to screw everything up. So don't do that. Okay. So you always want to click data has a header row. That way it doesn't sort your header row. You don't want to sort that. These are the names of your columns, right? So then when you click here, you can pick what column do you want to sort by. So I want to sort by the enrolled date. So I just click that and click sort. And now what you're going to see is, remember, these 2 columns are empty. I'm not going to delete them for the purposes of this video, but they're empty. And now you're going to look and see, okay, you're going to look for anybody who's in the same month, and you're looking for the month. So you're going to go here and type in, okay, February. So this is just a little tedious exercise. It is what it is. It's fine. You're going to April. These are both April. Okay. These are both May, 3 Mays, June. Go down the list and plug in this column first with the month that they enrolled. Okay. And then once you've done, so pause the video and go and do that process. Okay. Okay. So now we're back. and you have filled out this column. It's good to go. So now what we need is we need a quick way that you can sort, because if you sort on this column, it's going to bring all the Februarys together. But watch what happens if you don't have a month number. This is why I like Street, because then you don't have to deal with all this stuff. So we're going to highlight the whole table, hit sort range. Data has a header row, leg, and now we're going to go to this month that they enrolled. Okay. And so we're going to hit OK. And now what you see here is, so now you can see it's sorted the table by the month that they enrolled. So all the April people are together, all the December people are together, February, but they're not in order by month. So that bothers me. If you don't care, then you don't need the month number column. You can just leave it and just know that they're going to be alphabetical instead of in order chronologically. And so, you can just know that June is going to be down here, and January, it's going to go January, July. So just come to January, and that's who you're going to work with that month. If you want to see them in chronological order, which I like to do, that's why I like Streak so much, then you're going to use this month number column. So what you're going to do is you've got two choices. Really easy way to do it is you're going to put a letter alphabetically next to each month for the 12 months, right? So January would be A, February would be B, March would be C, April would be D. Helps to write it on a piece of paper so you can just quickly boop, boop, boop as you go through it. But you're going to put the letter, or you could do January is month 1, month 2, February is 2, March is 3, so on and so forth. So just go through, and all your January people make either A or 1. February make B or 2. If you're more of a number person, which is fine, I did the letters because you don't have to format the columns any particular way. You can just then sort on that column, and it puts them in alphabetical order. If you want it to be the numbers 1, 2, 3, you do have to highlight the column. So if you put in 1 for January, 2 for February, then highlight the column, and you're going to format it as a number. So instead of having it be go to format, number, and instead of being automatic, you're going to format it as a number. Okay. And then when you sort on the thing, it'll keep them all in numerical order instead of, what it'll do is put 1 and then 10 and then 11 and then 12 and then 2, because it sorts by the first number. I don't know if this is making any sense to you guys, but anyway, it'll make sense when you do it. So pause the video now. I want you to go in and either put A's or numbers by each of the months. And then what you can do is, I'll show you what you can do with it in just a second, okay? Okay, so now that you've done that, you can come here, and anytime you want to keep your table, this is the way I keep my table typically. Well, when I used a table, I don't use tables now. But I like my stuff organized so I can see my whole year and see my customers. So what you do is you just highlight the whole table. You're going to go here and go to data and sort range. Data has a header row. And now we're going to go sort by that month number. And that's going to help keep everything. Now you can see I've got everybody in order, right? Here's all my January people, then my February people, then my March people, April, May, June, July. Everybody's here in chronological order. So now from now on, we're not going to use these columns a whole lot. We're going to keep them there in case we want to sort on them. You can make what you can do next to keep it simple. Let's say you only want to see a certain set of months. There is technology here with this, or some features you can see. I can highlight the header row and create a filter. And then what that does is it puts see these little markers here? That means I can come here, and any month I can, or any one of these columns, I can choose that little thing. It gives you a drop down, and then you can pick and choose what months you want to see. So you can clear and then say, okay, I just want to see July and January, because that's my 6-month people, right? So July and January, January would be the first month of the year. July would be the 7th month. That's my 6th month. So I could do oils refreshers for July. This happens to be July when this is recorded. And then I'm going to do a 6-month check-in with my January people. So I just want to see those people so I know what my workload is this month. So then I can say, okay, it's January is going to be a 6-month check-in. Maybe I'm going to send these guys a postcard or whatever. This is in the future, you guys. Don't worry about 6-month check-ins right now. I'm going to show you here in a minute what I want you to do to just get started. I'm just giving you an example. And then here are my July people that I need to offer an oils refresher to. Then to turn off the filter, you can click that little green button again and click select all, scroll down, hit OK, and boom, everybody comes back again. Okay. Okay. So that's all here. At the next step I want to show you just really quickly is how do I add a new customer? So let's say you just enrolled somebody. It's really easy to do. You can just go to the bottom of the table. You've got a couple choices. Since it's just one person, you could, if you know it's a July person, you could just go to July, highlight a row, and then right click and put insert one above. And then you could say whose team is it on their team, Lucy. So you put in team Lucy, and then it's easy. You're just going to, you know, it's a G or whatever the number is for July, it'd be 7, right? And then July, it's a July enrollment. And then you're going to, you can go in and find their data and just copy and paste, but I don't recommend, that can be a little tricky because you're not sure that the headers are all in the right order, although could be. You could go into your detailed genealogy and find their new enrollment and then highlight, copy and paste in here. Just make sure that what the data you paste in is lined up in the cell, in the row columns correctly. Or you can hand type it. So their ID number. I recommend copy paste their name from doTERRA exactly as it's done, as it's typed in there. Don't change it. Don't change these from Campbell, comma, space Jackie to Jackie Campbell. Because if you do decide to use streak later, there's some functionality that you can enjoy with it if you have the name exactly as it's written in doTERRA's back office. So don't change that. But what you'll do is, well, we don't need to go into it, but just leave these exactly as they are from doTERRA. So copy and paste their name from doTERRA, their enrollment date, sponsor, blah, blah, blah. You can either paste these things in or type them in yourself. And that's all you have to do. And then that's one way to do it, or you can add it to the bottom and then just sort the table on the month enrolled and it will add people that way as well. Okay, so we're getting there, right? We've got your people all imported, your personal enrollments, you know what team they're on, you know what month they enrolled. We're almost ready here. So what you're going to do next, you may choose to, as we're going to put some other columns way over here on the right. And what you can do with this is these columns are the ones where we're going to start to track the history of our customers. And this isn't really valuable information that's going to make following up with people much more personal. And we're going to look a lot more organized and on top of things if we know this information. So what I recommend you do as you're building this table is just take some time and go through and you know, you may choose to do this like 1 month at a time. So if it's July, you might really think about your July, you know, as you're focusing on those July enrollments, you come in and try to fill this information out. Do I remember what starter kit they started with? This is the initial order or starter kit. This is where did we meet them, family information, the last time you contacted them, and any stuff you've sent them. Now, this is information I like to have. You might have other things you want to keep track of, like, I don't know, something else. You can add as many columns to the right as you want to, you know, but these are ones these are the bare minimum that I would suggest. So in this case, you could do all your people at once. If you have a small team, that's doable. If you have a large team, then I would focus on the month that it is right now. Okay. And so as you're doing the next part that I'm going to tell you about, and you're focused in on a particular month, then come in here and you might look and see, you know, really focus and think, okay, where did I meet that person? What kit did they get started with? What's their husband's name? You might go to their Facebook page and refresh your memory. What's their husband's name or their wife's name or their kids? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? Is there anything else going on that, you know, you want to make sure you get in your mind so that every time you're getting ready to call a customer, you can come back here and refresh your memory and be like, oh yeah, that's how I met them. That's what's going on. Okay, great. So keep track of any family information. Let's see if I have any fake data in here. Yeah, so here's some fake data. This person started with a family essentials kit. I met them at a Christmas craft show. Totally made this stuff up. Husband's name is Bob, 2 kids, Sarah and Lucy. I kind of the same names over and over again. I don't know why that is. Fake names, or I'm stuck on Bob and Lucy and Sarah, these same old names. Okay, last time we contacted them, which, for some of us, it might be 6 months or a year or 2 years or 5 years since we've talked to people. So, or we may have never spoken with them. As you do this process for legs that you didn't enroll, for teams that, the leader's no longer active, you might have never contacted them. So just fill it out as best you can. And have you ever sent them anything? Did you send them a goodie package when they enrolled? Did you send them an oils refresher package? It's something I send to customers for their oils birthday if they fill out my oils refresher quiz. If you just send them a prize, did they win a prize? Did they win one of your LRP clubs? Like anything you've sent to them, keep a history. This is going to get to be a big fat column over time. But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. As you start to fill this out, you want to make sure, if this is a brand new spreadsheet, I want you to highlight the whole table, go to format, and go to text wrapping and click wrap. And that'll keep all the information in one cell, nice and neat, so you can just quickly read things. That way you don't have it like going off to the side here. We have to keep scrolling to the right to see what it says. So make sure you wrap your columns or your text, your cells, so that you can see what's going on. And then the last little thing here I was going to say about that is, you can adjust your columns over time. So as you build a history, if this is really the way you're doing it, so your spreadsheet, as you get more and more information in here, you can make the columns wider or whatever as you need to, just so you know. Okay. All right. So you can pause the video and work on this now if you have a small number of people. Or you can, if you have a big team, hold off for a minute, hang out with me, get through this last step. And then I'm going to give you an action plan. And then you could probably do this part with your action plan. Okay. So pause the video now, update it if you want to, or hang on, and we're going to go to the next step here. So okay, so this is get organized, make a plan, and get into action, right? That's the name of this workshop. So congratulations, you just got organized, all right? You've got a clear snapshot of your team right now in this moment, all in this table. And now this table is going to become the foundation of your business. This is your hub. This is where you come back to when you sit down to do your work. This is what you open up. This should always be open. It should be open every day. You're going to pull this up. If you're using Streak becomes your hub. And that's where I go for my business. My back office is a touchstone that I use when I'm working with customers. I'll quickly open, look at them up, see what's up with them, when's the last time they ordered, stuff like that. But it's my hub, and all my history with that customer is in this is what they call a CRM, a customer resource management. Okay. And so you want to manage your customers. You want to keep a history on them. This is part of developing that relationship and doing a good job, good customer service. So you've gotten organized. Your next step is to make a plan. So I just want you to get into action right now. So I don't want to overwhelm you with a big, complicated plan for follow-up. So what I would recommend, because I see it happen all the time, people get like halfway through this process and then they freeze up, they abandon it. And I know because I did it. I spent a lot of money creating a streak thing with a coach. And then it was so complicated and I was so overwhelmed by it that I just quit using it. I didn't even use it. It sat completely unattended for a long time, over a year, maybe a year and a half. I'm not really sure, but a really, really long time. And then when I finally got to that point last year with COVID that I really needed to get into action with my customer retention and follow-up, that's when I went back and really I cleaned it up. I had to do updates. So I don't want you to abandon this, because you almost have to do it over again. If you do it now and then you don't use it, and then a year from now you come back, you've enrolled people between now and then, probably things have changed, and you don't want to, you basically almost have to redo it because you don't know who's in the table, who's not in the table, whatever. Or I didn't know who was in my streak, who wasn't in my streak. I had to delete everything and just start over, and it's annoying. So I want you to stick with it. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Here's the plan to get you comfortable with this process and help you start developing this skill of customer follow-up, customer support, customer retention. What I want you to focus on as you're starting out is just on people's oils birthdays. Okay. And so this is a really easy place to start, and you're going to screw it up in the beginning. You might find that you had a really weird month and you had 20 people you were supposed to follow up with, and instead you weren't able to do that, or you didn't get to everybody. So it's okay. Just do the best you can. Keep coming back. At the beginning of every month, you should be coming back to the spreadsheet and seeing, okay, for the month of January, if this is January, these are the people that I need to connect with for their oils refresher. Okay. And then make a plan for how you're going to do that. You could schedule a text message with a cute little bottle graphic or something that says, hey, it's your oil's birthday, and send them a text that says, hey, just so you know, it's your oil. I don't know if you realize it's your oil's birthday this month. And so I'm starting something new. Feel free to blame COVID. With COVID going on, I've been trying to think of new fun ways to connect with you that aren't reliant on Facebook. So I started doing this really fun thing called an oils refresher. Basically, it's a chance for you to fill out this really cute, fun, not cute, 1-minute quiz. It tells me what's going on with you. And then I will, when I get your results, I will send you some recommendations on how to use the oils you already have at home to work with those things that you mentioned in the quiz. Only takes a minute, super fun. Oh, and I have a fun goodie package I like to send out too. If that sounds good to you, here's the link to my refresher quiz. I'll watch for those results and get your goodie package out to you when I get them. Period. Send the text. So I have a leader who schedules out all of these, like in the future. She uses Project Broadcast. She schedules out her oils refresher text at the beginning of every month, and she's good to go, right? So you get to do that. So you get to do it. You could do Facebook Messenger. You could do copy paste messages. You could send a postcard. Some of you are using postcard services. You could send a postcard at the beginning of the month. You get to decide, but your job is to connect with all those people that you enrolled during that month in some way. And don't just give up at one touch. Like, you might send that text message and then look and see who responds for that first week and take care of them. And then after that first week, look and see, okay, I had 20 people, 7 of them filled out my quiz already. I've got these last 13. Then you could do a different way. If you've texted them all, then use Facebook Messenger and say, hey, Susie, I don't know if you saw my text message the other day, but I want to make sure you saw that it's your oils birthday this month. I'm doing this fun new thing called an oils refresher quiz, blah, blah, blah. Quick, paste it in there and then send them a Facebook message. Those 13 people who haven't filled out the quiz. Okay. And then if that doesn't work, you can also call them or text them and say, and then work with whoever that answers after that. And then the last one would be to work with the people who are, just keep working. And then if you've contacted 3 or 4 times in 3 or 4 different ways and they haven't responded, then you just feel good that you did your job. Who cares? Don't worry about it. They didn't answer, no problem. You did your job. And that doesn't mean you're going to abandon them in the future and be like, well, they didn't answer. We don't know what's going on with them. Their husband might have just died, or they were in a car accident. They don't owe you a response. If they need you, they'll respond. Unless they tell you, stop calling me, stop messaging me, I don't want to hear from you, then just assume, wow, they must be really busy right now, or they must have something going on, and that's okay. All right. So put those notes in the table. Reached out on Messenger, reached out by text, blah, blah, blah. You're going to take notes on that on the right side of the table. And then you next time, 6 months from now or a year from now, when you come back to offer another oils refresher, you can look back and see, oh yeah, I did offer them that last year. They didn't respond, blah, blah, blah. You know that. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So that's your plan. And now I want you to get into action. So this is where I leave you. I want you to get your rest of your table filled out. And then I want you to, whatever month this is that you're watching this, I want you to focus in on that month. I want you to just work with those customers and ask yourself, how can I be of service to these people? How can I reconnect with them? Not to tell them the specials, not to try to get them to come to some event or anything. Just let them know, hey, I want to make sure you feel really comfortable using those oils that you've already got at home. And just, you can send them a text. It's just something that simple. It's your oils birthday. I just want to make sure you feel really comfortable using those oils that you already have at home. Okay. That's what's going to build the trust factor with them. That's what's going to build the relationship. They may ask you specials. Those things will come up. They often do, but that's not what we're leading with. We're leading with customer service. I'm here for you. It's your oils birthday. How can I help? Okay. All right, guys, that's the end of the workshop. You should have this done. You should have this is your simple plan. Get going with your oils refreshers. I would love to hear how it's going. So whichever group you're watching this from, I have a Facebook group called Wellness Advocates Working Group. skills building for stronger business. You're welcome to join that group and let me know how it's going. It's open to anybody. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can post in the comments, whatever you want to do. I'd love to hear how's it going for you. Get into action, build on this skill set. And your next step is to download my ebook. So if you're in a random place, you can go to funoilstuff.com. And once you get the basic process down, you've got your spreadsheet or your streak set up, then the ebook is going to help you to go beyond just oils refreshers, because we don't want to just talk to our customers once a year. That's not going to build strong, relationships with them. What I do with the ebook is walk you through building a follow-up plan. What is your plan for a whole year worth of customer service? You get to decide what that's going to look like. But we need a plan. So this is going to take you from this video. This workshop is all about just having a really simple place to start, building your skills, getting into some action, getting comfortable. And then after you've been doing this for a month or two, you're starting to feel good about this. Now we're going to go to the next step and we're going to say, okay, what does my whole year look like when I enroll somebody? What does that first year look like when I enroll somebody for customer support? How often do I contact them? Do I use postcards or text messages? Do I use Messenger? How often am I reaching out? These are the things that you get to decide for your business. And then you make the plan and you follow the plan. And this spreadsheet will let you follow that plan too. And I can show you more about that in the future. So anyway, congratulations on finishing this one. Congrats on having your business in one place. Hopefully this helps you feel more organized, on top of things, and you'll be ready to go to get yourself into action and feeling good. Thanks so much.